Welcome back. And in our top business story, families pay more in the UAE than any of the Arabian Gulf states for a British or Indian education, petrol and household utilities, and only in Qatar are rents higher, according to a new study of cost of living. The figures in the Cost of Living GCC report have fueled fears of an increase in inflation this year. The Cost of Living report found the average cost of a British curriculum education was 50,675 dirhams, compared with 13,751 in Bahrain, the lowest in the GCC. The average Indian education cost 22,000 dirhams, more than twice as high as Qatar in second place with 10,400 dirhams. Tuition fees in Abu Dhabi and Dubai are regulated by the local governments, which determine how much schools can charge based on the quality of educations they offer. The cost of electricity, water and sewerage in a three-bedroom apartment was between 500 and 1,500 dirhams, compared with 106 to 300 dirhams in Saudi Arabia. Petrol was also more expensive at 1 dirham 65 a litre, compared with about 44 fils a litre in Saudi Arabia. Petrol prices in the UAE were raised by the government by up to 27% in 2011, but remain lower than in most developed countries. The UAE had some of the most expensive residential property, the report found. Annual rent on a studio apartment ranges from about 11,000 to more than 73,000 dirhams. Only Qatar, with a range of 30,000 to 110,000, costed more. There was good news, however, for consumers who visit hotels, travel by taxi and enjoy McDonald's. A three-star hotel room varies seasonally from 370 dirhams to 550 dirhams a night, 4-star from 370 to 750 dirhams a night, and 5-star from 750 to close to 1,500 dirhams a night. A 10-kilometre taxi journey was just over 15 dirhams, and a Big Mac cost 10 dirhams, all cheaper than anywhere else in the region. Gulf states will continue to drive the growth in MENA region. However, according to the QNB Group, greater integration of the region into the global economy through increased trade openness and enhanced competitiveness could raise long-term regional growth prospects. The QNB Group estimated that the real GDP growth of GCC was 3.7% in 2013, and that the rise in export and physical revenue as a result of high hydrocarbon and production prices has enabled the GCC countries to press ahead with major infrastructure spending plans, adding that investment in major infrastructure programs in the GCC, such as $30 billion in Qatar, $25 billion in Kuwait, as well as the 2020 Expo in Dubai, will continue to drive trade openness through higher imports. However, further structural reforms aimed at attracting foreign investment into infrastructure, education and innovation would yield long-term gains across the region in enhancing both trade openness and competitiveness. Additionally, the 2013-14 Global Competitiveness Index by the World Economic Forum identified areas for enhancing competitiveness in MENA that include institutional frameworks and labour markets in North Africa, as well as infrastructure and innovation. While, according to the QNB Group, growth in MENA outside the GCC will be dependent on overcoming political uncertainties, liberalising trade and improving competitiveness. Abu Dhabi hotels experienced a rise in all major performance indicators in November, driven by a number of prominent events and an increase in leisure demand, according to the latest Hotstats survey. November is historically the strongest month of the year for Abu Dhabi, and this year was no different, with hotels seeing further growth as occupancies reached 85%, an increase of 7.8% from the same period in 2012. The survey data showed that average room rates experienced a slight revival, with a 0.8% increase to $246.74, becoming the second highest rates in the region. The strong growth in demand drove a 10.9% increase in revenue per available room, closing the month at $209.71. The increase in ARR was led by a surge in demand from the leisure segment, while occupancy levels benefited from strong corporate activity and demand originating from citywide events. A rise in beverage and conferencing revenues helped to boost total revenue per available room by 11.4% to $387.55, which in turn drove profitability up 11.7% to $188.44, the highest level registered in 2013. UAE airline carriers Emirates and Etihad Airways have been rated among the top 4 airlines in the world in terms of safety and offering in-flight products in a survey conducted among 448 airlines. Topping the list is Qantas, which has a fatality-free record in the jet era since 1951, followed by Air New Zealand, Emirates and Etihad Airways. Other airlines making up the top 10 with 7 stars for safety and in-flight products were Cathay Pacific Airways at 5, Singapore Airlines at 6, Virgin Atlantic at 7, Eva Air at 8, All Nippon Airways at 9 and Royal Jordanian at 10. The AirlineRatings.com's rating system takes into account a number of different factors related to audits from aviation's governing bodies and lead associations, as well as government audits and the airline's fatality record. Of the 448 airlines surveyed, 137 have the top 7-star safety ranking, but almost 50 have just 3 stars or less. Qantas was the lead airline, with real-time monitoring of its engines across its fleet using satellite communications, which has enabled the airline to detect problems before they become a major safety issue. 2013 was also the safest for flying since 1945, with only 269 deaths from 29 accidents. According to the Aviation Safety Network, the results are well below the 10-year average of 32 accidents and 719 fatalities.